Today's DIY project is a little different from the norm. Today, I want to go over what I did to help me get through this COVID-19 pandemic. To see how I did this, stay tuned. I'm guessing many of you have seen many videos on how to stay safe during this pandemic time. I have my own frugal approach to this, and because it's unique from other advice I've seen so far in the news, I thought I'd share it with you. Keep in mind, this is what I decided to do on my own. I'm no expert of any kind for pandemic events, so take what I say with a grain of salt, but other than that, let's get started. One of the first things I did as news of the virus came out was to go out and buy disinfectant. Knowing that I may need a lot of disinfectant based on what I'd be disinfecting, I also picked up a small spray bottle. These smaller spray bottles help to conserve disinfectant because as I spray, the mist created is a lot finer and less wasteful than the mist that comes straight out of the larger disinfectant bottle. No waste is important for me because what I do whenever I reach my destination, either home or work, is disinfect everything that will not be thrown for laundry, such as my shoes, hat, or backpack to name a few. For myself, I use up almost a full spray bottle every day and need to refill it. To do so, I've removed the spray cap from the disinfectant bottle and turned it into something of a refueling tanker. With the cap removed, I can easily squirt a stream of disinfectant into the small spray bottle until it's refilled, and I'm good for another day. Something that I already had in stock at home because I do a lot of wipe-on painting is nitrile gloves. You may be thinking gloves are pretty straightforward and you've heard they don't help. Well, I have my own take on hand sanitization and part of it requires gloves, so here's how I use them. Now what I do once I get the gloves on is treat them like a layer of skin. One complaint I've heard in the news is that people are complaining that using hand sanitizer so much is starting to chap the skin on their hands. This is where the glove, that's a second skin, comes in. What I've been doing instead of using hand sanitizer directly on my hand is using the small spray bottle to disinfect the gloves instead. It dries quickly enough, but if I need to dry the gloves off even quicker, I keep a napkin handy. Something else I already have in stock at home due to spray painting projects are N95 masks. I do modify the mask, which I'll show in a bit, but as with other items that don't go in the wash, I'll also disinfect the mask when I get to a destination where I can take it off. The disinfectant takes about 15 minutes to dry, but if I need a mask sooner, I keep a second one at each destination. As for the modification, I don't know if you need to do this, but I was overbuilding like I do on some of my projects just to be safe. What I did here was line the inside of the mask with packing tape. Be careful when doing this because you don't want the tape to cover the entire inside of the mask or you won't be able to breathe. Leave about a half-inch gap from the outer edge of the mask to the edge of the tape. This is something I haven't had to resort to yet, but I got it because in thinking through what the news is constantly saying about masks not helping, but yet doctors need it to protect themselves, I feel the news might be twisting the truth on that statement. What they might actually mean is that you can't use the mask alone. The mask is part of a system of individual items that when used together is an effective method of protection. What I would say is I don't need everything since I don't work in an ICU. I feel gloves and a mask are enough, unless I know I'm going to a location where I know a lot of people will or could be sick. At that point, I'd probably throw on the goggles. One final piece of protection I usually wear on my commute to work, but lately as part of my N95 mask and nitrile gloves outfit, is a hat. Specifically, a wide-brim safari-type hat. I felt the wide brim of this type of hat will help deflect floating particles that would have more easily found its way to my face had I not been wearing a hat at all. For anything that does get past the brim of the hat, my second line of defense then becomes the N95 mask. I did try to think everything through as reasonably as possible. Whether it will help, I'll just have to wait and see. The company I work for and the work I do is considered essential, so I have been going to work every day. The office is empty and the streets are empty. It's a really strange feeling commuting in what looks like apocalyptic times. For everyone out there, stay safe. That's all I have for now, and I'll catch you in the next video.